So I will speak a bit about what I have seen. I'm not a technical person. I studied 1 year of geomatics, but my role is more commercial, business development, partnership. So I will be focusing a bit more on that. So let me share with you some information. So, which we've got. Well, anyway, okay. So I work in O42 doing partnerships between space companies. So that gives me a lot of overview of what's happening right now and what's happening in the next few years with certain launches. So I can share with you that for me, this special journey started like 15 years ago. I started working in a mapping company, doing GPS navigation for certain phones. And then all this journey I have seen, it has been incredible because for the last 4 years, I have been working in air observation and remote sensing. And for me, it's mind-blowing what we have seen right now with all these launches. So right now, we have more than 4,800 active satellites in space. 1,000 of those belong to air observation initiatives. We have more than 155 launches last year. This year also will be more than that. And more than 70 countries are involved in these initiatives. So it's a nice spot to be in the industry at this point. So what is the market value of all these numbers that I just shared? So according to different studies, the market value for this is around $6.7 billion in 2022. This year, of course, we don't have yet the numbers. The estimation is more than double for having all this kind of direct market revenue. And all the social economic impact that this is generating in different industries initiatives is more than 100 to 150 billion combined. So this is incredible, to see how more and more people is adopting all this observation data. So I don't know why we see like that. Let me see. Yeah, maybe I just do that. Well, sorry for that. So, which areas we have seen also this social economical impact, over the last few years? Of course, we have seen how more and more air observation is supporting the decision-making process, not only in government levels, also in company levels. Of course, right now with the climate emergency we are living, all this is helping to do all this monitoring and also to be able to prevent certain disasters that could be happening in the future. Also, all this agronomy for the future, food for the future, and also how we can mitigate certain things, and of course, how we can also comply with all the sustainable development goals. So, what we are doing in O42, I will give you a bit about the company, is like we see how the industry is fragmented, and then how it's hard to find the data in different initiatives, how, it's in websites, web services, data cubes. So we're trying to put everything in one single place. So we're trying to, instead of, yesterday I was attending this talk in the one, it was mentioned that 60% of the time of scientists or researchers is spent in data cleaning, finding the data. Is still today like so fragmented, the market. So what we're trying to do in O42 is how we can make things easier for everyone. In the one they find one stop, in the one they can find everything in an easy way. So we're trying to see this kind of pyramid of knowledge right here. Let's see if it works better now that I don't have so much written on the right. And then you have this pyramid, and the one you have the data, you have the information, you have the knowledge, you have the wisdom. So how we can facilitate all this part right here, so people really that are studying everything, they can focus on the knowledge part and of course on the creating, wisdom, out of this data. So we're trying to do that by facilitating the access, and one of the big projects that the company is doing, I will mention in a bit because it was presented on Monday. So it's one place in the one you can find it all. And we also work a lot with APIs. So that's something that we are trying to do in the one. Instead of people downloading the data and working with the data, you have one place in the one you have the computing infrastructure, and also you have analytics if you want to bring them on board, and then run everything in the servers, not needing to download all the data. Right now, I have been able to sign more than 70 partnerships together with my team. In the one you have companies doing optical data, SAR data, aerial imagery, remote RF data, also maritime, and some other things that are really interesting all around the globe. Something we're working in O42 is also, we have this stack project. Being a platform also gives us the opportunity to speak with all these different organizations and companies in the one. Every single one, they have different metadata, different types of providing, all this information. So something we have seen right now is how we are receiving without the stack, and how Op42 can have all these kind of best practices out of working with company A, B, C, D, E. So if you want to hear more about this project, there was a talk on Wednesday from my colleagues, and of course it also will be recorded, so you can check it online. I think it would be really interesting, and is, I would say, something that we are learning, and we are also sharing back with the Stack project, and also we are involved with the new also standards for the tasking for the satellites. So that's something that I would say we, as working with every single partner in the industry, give us all this knowledge, to give back also to the community. So anyway, going back to the main topic of the talk. So we know, we hear more and more about optical, of course, because there are so many sensors out there, but also we hear more and more about SAR. But SAR, from my point of view right now, is something that is not yet used at its full potential for different reasons. One of the reasons probably is the lack of knowledge, about how to work with SAR. I was in a conference organized by L3Harris. Right now, they changed to MV5, and one of the scientists that was presenting there, he said, I have been working with SAR 30 years of my life, and I still cannot see a SAR image today. So I thought that was really funny, but at the same time, it really represents how SAR, the learning curve is like so long comparing to other sensors. So I won't speak so much about optical. We know optical is a sensor which is passive because it depends on the sunlight. SAR is active because they are sending the signal. So the benefits of SAR, I will focus a bit on that because that's the less probably we know. You can have all this monitoring of Earth 24/7, regardless if it's cloudy, if there is a hurricane, if there is nighttime, because you don't need that. You are just sending kind of the scatter, and then you will be also receiving all this information back. So you don't need to depend in the weather. When you do a feasibility study, comparing to the optical, sometimes if you want to take a picture of certain areas in Amazonia, in Ecuador, in other regions in Africa, it can take you months. I have seen feasibility studies that they say it will be taken within this period of 6 months, 8 months. By that time, maybe the project is already over. So people need also all these different, I would say, speed to receive the data. As I mentioned, night captures, you can also be capturing all this data regardless of the lack of sunlight. So it is a point about high accuracy in elevation models, because also, all these different bands. The most I have seen for the commercial satellites is this one right here, the X band. This band right here is for Sentinel-1, and I think L band right there, that's in ALOS, the satellites from the Japanese constellations. So this is the one I see the most right now, but I think more and more we're going to be seeing more satellite companies experimenting with more of this, more bands probably in the future. So this is also a good example about how this can be measured. I have seen also a few companies which are really kind of experts about treating the SAR data. One of them that I can share with you is one company from Israel. The name is Asterra. They are using mainly, I would say, L-band, and they are doing all these urban planning studies, to be able to see the moisture of different cities. They have projects all around, I think, Israel, of course, they are from there, and Europe. In the one, thanks to having this data combined to their analytics, they can see where in certain areas of the city there is a risk of construction or a risk of certain movement, in the buildings. So that's really interesting. So this is a kind of, which of the bands are penetrating the canopies and all the way to the moisture, as we were saying before. The company I mentioned, they are doing all the work with this L band. So for who right now, also in Optical, we have right now open data available. We are also looking forward to bring Sentinel-1 on board in the next probably few months. And the good thing is also in the platform, you can play with the data, the open data, and also if you want to do something else, then you can purchase certain credits that they will allow you to buy commercial data. No need to really have a subscription, it's more use-based. Then I want to give some examples that who I see right now are the companies in the ones I see that they will be also kind of making a lot of changes in the industry right now. So, as I mentioned, I do partnerships, so I'm speaking with all these companies. Wyvern is a company from Canada, and they are doing these hyperspectral satellites, which they just launched, I think, one a couple of weeks ago, and also they have all this plan for launching in the next years, and they have this hyperspectral imaging. The nice part also about Wyvern, I mean, they have this amazing team in Canada. They are really committed also with the community, and they are planning to have also a Creative Commons license. So that's really interesting. Also, I would say this is one of the first ones that I see that the product itself, not an open data project, the product will be having two pricing, one focus in Creative Commons license and one kind of full price. So that's how they want to give back to the community. Another company very interesting is this company from India named Pixel. I think one of the product managers was also here around in the conference. So this company is promising to have more than 400 bands in their product. So, I mean, the use cases are unlimited. I mean, we are going to keep discovering this. Albedo is one company from the US, and they are mentioning they are having this kind of new technologies. In the one you have this kind of extension, and then that extension that they will be having in the satellite will be letting them go all the way to 10 centimeter native resolution. So that's kind of mind-blowing thinking, I mean, what we will be seeing in the next few years about what is coming. So who are the players in the SAR industry right now? ISAI is a company from Finland. They have a small constellation also, and the imagery is, their SAR imagery is around 25 to 50 centimeters. Synspective is one company from Japan. At this moment, I mean, I see that this company is more like right now really focused in the solutions for the JAXA projects in Japan, but I would say they will become more commercial over the next few years. And Umbra is a company from the US in the one, I would say, they are really inventive as well. They have this kind of sensor in the one when you reach certain altitude, it will be doing like an umbrella thing. So that's how also they are doing their technologies. It's very unique. And right now also they're launching and they are having also the first data already available for the users. So these are some of the new players I see in the market. So how these companies, I see that it can be combining. So we know satellite data can be expensive. I mean, open data is there, but these companies, of course, they have certain business models. So SAR can be combined to all this optical data to be able to do all these projects, I mean, for construction, monitoring, for maybe land displacements. I was speaking with Synspective a few months ago, no, actually more than 1 year ago. In the one, they were already checking certain areas of displacement in India. And when this, I forgot the name of the area in the one, there was this village that was like taken away by some flooding. They said, I mean, they were like so sad because they were checking some of the areas, but if they could have seen these kind of 2 3 centimeter movements in the area in India, they could have prevent the locality. So at that time it was so sad because they were not able to do it because, I mean, they discovered that they were having some information, I mean, after, I mean, this happened. So I just have, I mean, a few minutes more, but I want to say you that right now is so accessible, all this data. I mean, even the prices can be so high. There are certain projects like this one right here named Network of Resources. Probably you already know about this project. In the one, ESA is giving away 5,000 euros. So not only offer it to have this project, I mean, there are more than 25 organizations which you can knock the door in ESA saying that you want to do this project that has to be for research, education, pre-commercial or NGO, so nothing that is really like for selling into the markets. You can knock ESA's door, sending this email with all the application, and then every one of you can have this flexibility of having 5,000 euros to be able to play around with the data, to discover something, to do prototypes or some other things, I mean, for your research. So I hope, I mean, you can apply because I think, I mean, this is a great potential. And also the good thing is that even you finalize this 5,000, I think you can continue the project and say that you need more funding for the same project. So please feel free, not only with O42, as I mentioned, there are 24 other besides O42 partners doing this kind of delivery of data, so people can also use SAR, without thinking that they will be running out of their budgets for their research. So feel free to use it. So I hope you have questions, and I will be here a bit. So we can solve. Thank you. Wait, I forgot this one. Sorry for that. So coming back to the beginning, the boom of observation. So what is the next in the industry? So for me, what is doing Capella Space, what is doing Maxar, what is doing Planet, having these open data programs is really relevant. We saw yesterday in the talk with Said how Planet and Maxar, they helped to be able to rebuild and also to be able to see the before and after of what's happening in Turkey and Syria. So that's something that we need to keep pushing all together, with all these companies. Second point is more companies like, as I mentioned Wyvern, I forgot to mention Umbra. Umbra also is committed to have the Creative Commons 4.0 version for their data. So that's something also that for me is like changing the industry totally. So these companies are the ones I know they're having this license. Maybe, we're going to see more and more in the future. So I also was in different talks in this event, and I think it's really nice to see more and more how space agencies and also how we see all this data, to be able to be more accessible in more and more sources. And then how we can also promote all the knowledge to be able to work with all this data. We need more scientists doing SAR, more scientists doing combination of things, so we have all the best of the data to be able to take decisions. So that's it. Thank you.